right, man. So Detroit Lions, I think for their final, draft visit, you only get 30 of them. They brought in Alabama's corner Kool-Aid McKinstry. The combine, he came in at just under 6 feet, 5'11" and a half. He said he ended up getting a name because from his grandmother, as soon as he got out the hospital, he was born, he had a big smile, so she said she named him Kool-Aid. I think he's from Birmingham. Shout out to Birmingham in the 205. So, I mean, we done seen situations in where teams haven't, and the Lions haven't met with guys, and they still drafted them. So this means a little bit of something, a little bit of nothing. I talk about the possibility of the Lions trading up in this draft as well, too. So, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe in another video. Subscribe to the channel, the subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance. Get notifications, we go live or drop a video. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't like the Liz Frank or the fracture in the foot. I don't like that at all, but then again, that attracts Brad Holmes even more. When you got an injury, he's more turned on by a prospect when they have an injury. So, that doesn't pretty much surprise me, but a good ball player. He said the guy that played opposite of him, I forget his name, he said he was a better athlete than he was, but he felt like he played more with IQ in his mind and all that stuff. So, I mean, he ran a 4.47 with a fracture in his foot, so recovering. So that's a big deal. I mean, he's plenty athletic enough. Imagine if he's healthy, he might be in the 4.3s. But I still think kind of more people like the Wiggins guy. He a little light in the ass, though. The Mitchell kid from Toledo, he didn't excel. But, it's all about, preference and making sure you pick the right guy in the situation. So, I don't have an issue with it. A lot of people like him because his name is Kool-Aid. It'll be a lot of endorsements and it'll be cool. But you got to make sure it's the right fit. And more than likely, he's going to be there. I mean, there are going to be some questions about that 29th pick. Do they go receiver? Do they go corner? Do they go pass rusher? The kid from Missouri. There's another defensive lineman they like in Illinois. I mean, how do they preference this stuff, or how do they figure it out? That's the question of who to take and who not to take, or who might slide, or do we move up in a second and get somebody? So there's a lot of questions, man. They traded a 3rd round pick. They still got another 3rd, for Carlton. What's his name? Davis from Tampa. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Maybe the foot injury will make Kool-Aid McKinstry drop a little bit in the second. They rise in the second and try to grab him. So it's a bunch of receivers. Some of the guys that was going to be at the bottom, they starting to rise. You start talking about the Thomas kid at LSU. You know what I'm saying? Xavier Worthy with his speed. And I'm not sure any of those receivers actually meet what the Lions need right now, as far a lot of them faster guys like Thomas and Xavier Worthy. They got issues with probably getting off press coverage right now. Look at a guy like Xavier Legette, big, strong, physical kid, 220, 6'1". So it's going to be interesting because some of these guys need to be polished off a little bit, but the receivers translate pretty good. So, I think, receivers in need. But then again, there's always a possibility. You can pick up an Odell. You can pick up a T. Higgins, try to trade for him. There's a possibility. I mean, it's always a possibility, but for corners, it's hard to find good corners, and especially if you believe Kool-Aid McKinstry can be that guy. You know what I'm saying? That's the $1 million question. So if you feel that way, or if you move up, but hey, he got the name, it seemed like he got the game. He got the injury. That's what Brad Holmes like as much. He liked the injury-prone guys and guys that already come in injured. A number of guys he didn't draft. So, I mean, he might be the pick. You might not have to move up and move down to get him. Now, as far as adding a receiver, you're going to add a good receiver anywhere, damn near. Do they banking on Donovan Peoples-Jones, Antoine Green, and maybe one of those other receivers to develop behind the scenes? I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. And, I haven't been as fully entrenched in this draft. I mean, I don't know the players like you used to. That's why I really watch college basketball. I don't know the players no more. Like, who are they? A lot of these guys, the top 10, 5 picks in the NBA draft, man, a lot of those guys is G League or overseas. Like, real talk. It ain't even no good, more American-born talent in an NCAA no more. and they did it to itself. And college football is different. It just, I know some of the kids from I watch more of that. But it's gonna be interesting to see what they put value in. It seemed like Holmes put value in broken down players, and he put value on speed too. So and in those intangibles. So got a couple holes. Maybe the guy from Missouri fit the bill. Maybe they move up and they try to get the Mitchell kid from Toledo. I mean, it's be interesting to see what they do. So used to picking super duper high. But McKinstry to be interesting. How fast will that foot hit? When you start dealing with fractures in the foot, those seem to be repetitive. You know what I'm saying? They seem to come back, and it seems to be an issue. So that's what scares you about. And they took a big risk. That's what scares you. They took a big risk with that guy. Levi Vanderzorke. He missed a year of college football, sat out a year, and came in with a career-ending back injury, and he ain't produced yet. He drafted Jasper Pascal. He was broken up a little bit. He ain't stayed healthy for an extended period yet, for real. Multitude of injuries throughout his career, his football career. You go to James Mitchell, you drafted him off the ACL. He ain't really clicked yet, so you had to go sign, match the offer from the 49ers from Brock Wright. F.A. Melifanu been broken up in and out the lineup. So, those are just the guys that I can just name off rip. Those are the guys I can name off rip. So, so when you take those risks, on them injuries, if you take a chance on kissing, your doctors better be right, because they wasn't right with Vanderzorke. They wasn't right at all. This motherfucker ain't did nothing. He ain't tickled a defender yet. So that's why a lot of people, are afraid to get surgeries on their back, because a lot of times they say they never recover. You never recover. So when you thinking about that with McKinstry, you got to think twice. When you talking about a fracture in the foot, a guy, that position is really predicated on athleticism and all that. So I mean, sometimes it might pay a little bit to try to move up the draft and get the guy you want. And then with Wiggins injuring himself and being 170, 80 pounds, there's gonna be some questions there. So he may just slide on being light. And I know they say, well, the Lions DBs got to be able to tackle, the corners got to tackle. If you don't tackle here, I think the cornerback coach at Deshae Townsend, you can't play. I feel him. D.I. wasn't the greatest tackler, but he did his job. But thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App, $ CJ Good 313. Venmo, CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.